Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, back to give you another solo guide for a legendary lost sector. This one is the K1 crew quarters. This will kind of round out the trio on the moon. We do have Fallen again because all the main lost sectors are Fallen, except that one tucked in the very top that is high, but apparently we're not facing that one. We have Champion's Barrier, one Servitor is in here, but he's at an interesting spot, and then we have 4 Overload Captains. So, my advice for your loadout, and again, I'm going to try and do this without the Valkyrie and without the heavy frame, but if you have the option to pull those and use them all the time. So, what we're going to deal with is Barrier and Overload. Now, Barrier's not so bad. Take something in there that you can work some Barrier. I'm going to do this one at a little bit higher level as we go through. Again, light level makes a difference on these. As we're working with a lot of Overload Captains, you're probably going to want to make sure you're at decent levels so you can slow those guys down. So, Barrier is going to be for your one Servitor. The submachine gun I've been using is not actually too shabby. Sidearms will work. It's really your option and where you want to put that. But the big one is your auto rifle. Now, I've just been using this one because it's actually not a bad auto rifle. Kind of having some fun with it. But you need an auto rifle that's going to be able to hit decently at range, hit decently hard, be as high light level as possible. Honestly, this one at 993 versus this one at 996, it's kind of a toss-up which one's better, honestly, because the little bit of extra damage you get from the 996 is going to add up. This is a Seraph one, so I can actually drop those cells. There's not that many shields in this lost sector that I can think of. Like, the shanks aren't shielded on this one specifically, like there were in another one. So I just ran it a couple times. I'm just blanking right now. So I've actually switched to that auto rifle and then maybe ran with Breath of the Dragon. I might actually be better off. So I'm going to switch over and do that. Either way, Overload, Barrier, doesn't matter which way you have them, those two. Now, my big piece of advice is a sword. Disrupting Blade on sword, which is what you can get from the artifact. I've used this probably more than anything else so far this season. Completely. The fact that you can do consecutive hits, and you have now the infinite looping animation of the swords for the light attack. You can disrupt captains and swords being very strong. This is ultra good. I haven't even maxed out my artifact now because I got to look over the rest, but this one, swords are in a pretty good place. Everything seems to be up close and personal. Also a must. If you're going to use swords, also the Enhanced Sword Scavenger is huge. My loadout is basically based around swords, so I have ammo on me as much as I can. Thank you, Totoro, for the follow, by the way. Mid-recording. So I'm like Bleeding Edge, super energy on kills. Double Enhanced Sword Scavenger. Sword Reserves. Not much for swords come from reloading, they're just there. And then Sword Ammo Finder. I am swords to the absolute max. And on this one, as there are 4 captains overload that you gotta kill, you're probably gonna go through a decent amount of ammo. So my advice is give that a shot. So I know this is a longer intro for this one, but there's a little bit to cover. 5 champions, 4 overload captains, 1 barrier sitting in the middle. Let's see how this goes. Alright, so when we jump into the Lost Sector, first section is all tucked down here to the left. But as you travel along, in this section up here is the one I'm actually talking about once we kind of travel through this structure. This area right about here where my cursor is at is where I fought the 2 captains. After those died, the barrier guy came out, and if those are all out at the same time, it's going to be kind of dicey. So, big thing is, at this point, try and kill the captains as quick as you can. Now, I'm going to avoid the Valkyries, but if you can use the Valkyries, use them. They are going to be great. So, just using my auto rifle on these ads, kind of hovering to the left. The captain seems to be more out towards the middle. It's using this large rock for cover at this point. And again, yes, I'm running this one at a higher light level than I have previously, mostly because the light level really starts to make a huge difference, and those Warmind cells are really awesome, actually. If you are not really taking advantage of the Warmind cell mods and you've unlocked a few of them, give them a shot. The explosion alone is really cool. Man, these grenades are always epic. Especially if you can get one to drop like in the middle of a lot of stuff. It's going to work out fairly well. Now that overload captain, I'm trying to kill the other ads first. Basically, I know they teleport a lot. And it's a little tricky sometimes if you get into a point where you're kind of getting smashed up. Hide, get some cover back because they do fire fast. Now as a Titan, I actually have the exotic where I can fire through my shield. So that might be a little bit of cheating. But if you do get to a point where you stagger them, go to town. Don't care about much else. Just keep swinging. And then we can go ahead and turn back. That's going to kill anything in there, and we're good. Now, the first one's not too bad. And as I said, the heavy ammo finder, the scavenger, I saw one thing of ammo drop and basically maxed that again. When you come in here, don't forget you are going to spawn your explosive guys, so let them spawn. Make sure they die. Now, the next spot is where I got aggressive on the 2 overload captains. So see what you can do to pull what you can. So, trying to really use those overload rounds where I can, but not the overload as much as the Warmind cells, if I can get those to drop. Now, these guys, depending on what you get, now if I can get a Warmind cell drop, that'd be great. And again, if you can get any of these guys to get staggered, go aggressive on them fast. Just like this. Now, I might die to the other one shooting me, and then if I do, guess what? It's okay. Now, if I don't have to die, that's great. But if I do, not the end of the world. Flawless isn't what you're going for. If you guys do want to see flawless Lost Sector runs, please comment below. But I'm just trying to get you guys guides to get through them. If you need daily, if you want to grind them, any of that type of stuff. The 1 captain is down. Now I just got to make sure I don't see that barrier servitor. I need to find this other captain before that barrier servitor comes out. Barrier servitor's out. Gotta go quick. Come on. Don't get shielded. Whew. Okay, that was way too close. Also, if you're working on the daily bounties, Powerful Fallen are all over these Lost Sectors. So if you need Powerful Fallen, these Moon Lost Sectors are great for that. See if I can not die again. And there's some more sword ammo. Again, the ammo finder stuff really starts to add up if you get a decent amount of it actually stacking. I'm gonna blow. So my goal at this point is to try and kill anything that actually gets away far enough from the servitor or line of sights from the servitor. In those little moments I can shoot them, that's kind of my goal. Try and find those times where guys are not shielded and work some of those down while the servitor's being annoying. Also, saw some more heavy ammo drop in the back, which is good. There's the ammo finder. Alright, so only a couple guys, but those Marauders, especially if they're stacked, are going to be pretty brutal up close. So, again, try and keep moving them around, and this is where a little patience comes into play. If he moves or one of the guys not available, you know, switch sides a little bit, try and take out some of these Vandals that are trying to snipe you from range. Not the longest range. There you go. So he got away from the servitor, so I can kill him. If I keep one wall between me and them, I can work a couple of these enemies down. There's plenty of ammo. I want to hit this Warmind cell if I can. There you go. Killed some dregs in the back. Servitor is a little close and personal there. Looks like I've got one more ad. So again, if you're having issues with the barrier servitor being surrounded, use this as time to work on other ads. Just make sure you watch your cover. Make sure he's not roaming around too close. Ow. Now there are Shanks over there. Totally forgot about those Tracer Shanks. They are getting a little closer. Now the barrier guys should be nearly in the middle. Once you get them around about a third, that's when you're probably going to have to go push in. Right there's the third. Wrong weapon. And I might have killed him there. Okay. Those are all down, but I got heavy ammo. I'm rolling in it right now. So you're going to have some Vandals up here. Some dregs. Watch out for those. That's probably the hard combination, is if the barrier servitor came out and was blocking the overload champion, that would be a pretty terrible combination. So watch those Tracer Shanks. Sniper's over here, and we're almost done. There we go. I've got some backup ammo, which is good, so you can start finding some Shanks over here. There's plenty of them. Now, if you get a Warmind cell to drop, try and use it, even though I'm not sure I can even see it right now since it's up high up there. You can see it glowing, which is nice. Can't do much with it. There you go. Now, if I can keep him isolated, freeze him down, we actually got perfect cover from the top. Nice. There we go. Hey, what do you know? Prime Engram 2. Now, again, here's a heavy frame. He would absolutely just go wreck that upper deck right now, and then if he explodes, it's even better. But again, doing this without the heavy frame in case you guys don't have it. But if you do, you can speed through this thing a lot quicker. Now the Nightmare of Bray, the actuator, he's just going to sit there and kind of take the damage I throw at him. If you got a super, now's probably a good time to use it. But again, trying to take out all the ads I can. There you go. Got another Warmind cell. Now, he's probably going to spawn some enemies at about a third down. I'm going to try and cook right now. Now, there's probably a couple ads I killed as they were coming out. But now we've got some Nightmare Dregs. So if the Nightmare Dregs actually will come down here, those will allow me to get a little bonus damage on him too. But as I said previously, I'm not running this one efficiently with all the Warminds, heavy frames, and Valkyries and stuff like that. That would obviously speed this along a little bit, but I'm not doing that to show you guys that it can be done without, in case you're not as fast on the upgrades. And just let you guys know, your places to really look out for stuff. In case those moments where like a Warmind heavy frame just absolutely explodes and crushes everything, you can have an idea of all the stuff that's coming through. Because those Warmind heavy frames, while powerful, sometimes they absolutely just will like completely annihilate an entire section of enemies, which you'd think is a good thing, but if I'm trying to explain to you what's coming, it's a little harder for me to cover it. I'm not sure how many sets of these guys come in. Apparently I'm good on sword ammo though. These little nightmare guys are really annoying. And again, if you do want the platinum level rewards, which in a Lost Sector, I honestly couldn't even tell you what that is defined as, but if you do want all the rewards, you gotta make sure you kill all the champions. So, can't be too fast about it. My reload is also crazy fast because I have the auto rifle overload thing on. So now, here's the fun part. If I can pick up this cell, I can get extra damage on him, and he's probably going to melt me a little bit. He killed me, but he's close to low. So again, I had the Warmind cell, wanted to try and get some extra damage on the boss while I had it. Could have gone a little farther, but my best damage is a sword, so I had to get up close and take a bit of a beating. Almost dead though. See if I can finish him up. Man, he hurts. So try and really use this staircase. His gun is on the lower section of his body, so if he can't quite see you with that, you're not going to actually take damage from it. So use this little ramp here, and you should be good. That should pretty much wrap it up. Alright, so grab your ammo I'm good on, but grab your chests. Get all your maybe bonus Warmind bits and all these little places that you can from all these upgrades we've got. Warmind bits just everywhere. There's my 2 and 10 and other stuff in the encrypted. So, let's get back to the bunker and finish this up. So that pretty much wraps this thing up. As I said, the 2 captains that spawn in the middle and then the barrier that spawns shortly after is probably going to be the roughest part. You can die in Lost Sectors. It's not a big deal if you're going for flawless. Obviously, caution is going to be huge. If you do want to see a flawless Lost Sector, I can show you guys some and maybe pick like the easiest one as I go through. But if you run with a group and you need a flawless, just be like, hey, I'm trying to run flawless, especially if it's with friends. Try and stay in the back, let them do the work. You guys can even rotate through. They're not that long. That was 9 minutes long. So, biggest thing for you guys, sword is insanely helpful right now. Any sword that you can find is good. The reason both of these with Tireless Blade are great is because sword ammo is granted after every other powered sword attack. Now, it says powered sword attack, but it doesn't say heavy or light. So, it just basically, if you're using ammo, you're getting ammo back. So I actually tend to do my light swipe a lot and not burn through a lot of ammo. Something with overload rounds from range, typically where with the overload, that's what I'm going to put on my auto rifle. And then barrier, I like submachine guns over sidearms because I can just like hold down a whole clip, hopefully break the barrier servitor's shield, and then go to town with whatever I can. And again, if you got to take it slower, want to use your super more, especially if you break a barrier and you're like, hey, I don't know if I can do enough damage with swords or I'm worried about dying, break the barrier shield, go to town with a super, nuke them that way. It's really up to you guys, but I hope you find these guides useful. If you do, let me know below. If you have any thoughts about any of these Lost Sectors, obviously, comments are open to you guys. You can find me on Twitter, but you can also find me on Twitch streaming a lot. I am shelter in place right now, so doing some work from home, but a lot of streaming with you guys between this and maybe a couple other games. So thank you guys very much. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Definitely seeing that one go up, and we want to try and climb to 50K. That would be an awesome number for you guys to help me hit. So thank you all very much. Have a good one, and I will see you soon.